Okay, welcome everybody. Today I'm with Gabriel. He went from 150,000 a month to 660,000 a month in less than 60 days, which is absolutely insane. He's now our, third or fourth client who's been made some crazy transitions in 60 to 90 days. He's one of the people who've worked the hardest, listened to all the questions, and take action fast, which has resulted in some tremendous growth very quickly. So, Gabriel, thank you for doing this. I want to start it off with asking you. Tell us a bit about your background. Where are you from? How did you even get into e-commerce? And then how did you even get to the point where you were already doing 100K or 150K a month?
Yeah, so like last year, like 24, in January, I started seeing econ stuff and I was seeing like things from Brazil because I'm from Brazil, but later I wanted to sell in US because it's a bigger market, it's better. And when you are from Brazil, the currency doesn't help. Like
Right.
we it's like 6x difference. So it's really bad for starting. But I started like seeing some videos, like watching and implementing, and I got like my first winning product and my first winning store. And after that, I was like a sponge. I was like looking to every video, like looking for good people to follow because at the start, a mentorship, although I wanted to go to one, it was
Right.
expensive because, as I said, I'm from Brazil and the currency it's really bad here. But later, I like going through these YouTube videos. I found yours, and like at the moment, bro, I saw your videos. Like I was like watching everything because there was so much like information that other people well, don't tell, right? They
Right.
probably they do, but they don't tell. And there is a lot of like bullshit in YouTube. Like a lot of people saying things that worked in 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and now you can do. And what I liked about your YouTube videos, it was like that it's really clear that you are really doing this stuff. Like it's really clear because it's things that are not like complex or anything, but are really effective. Like you
Right.
don't need to I don't know, hire 1,000 people and do have an investment. But it's those simple things that people don't focus that you show it to me, right? And another thing, it was about treating ecom as a real business because a lot of people come with the dropshipping mindset and they just want to make a little bit of money and then oh my store died and I will now start to find 1,000 products and so this was like the differentiator for me
Okay.
to like really watch your content and then decided to buy your program.
Right. That's awesome. And before I move to the next question, I really want to dial in on something which even to me is just crazy. Is you said you started like last January. So
Yeah.
you've only been on ecom for a year.
Yeah, like 23, I was studying to go to college, and like in December, I got approved, but I didn't want to go to
Right.
college. So I started ecom, and in the start, it was really hard. Like I think 4 months, I just basically lost money, but then I start to find a little bit of success, and then just exponential, right?
Right.
That's really beautiful of like the internet in general.
Yeah, 100%. But that's still like that's insane. Like I was like in ecom for 2, 3 years before I actually like started taking off and getting any kinds of significant results. And it was mostly because of me running my head into a wall over and over again until I learned, like you said, okay,
Yeah,
don't go back to square one with a new product, actually build a real business here.
that's a thing. I think it's because I got valuable information that people just spent their years like getting this information.
For
So I
sure.
think that's the reason that I got like um success fast, right? Because there was a way more content than it had before.
Yeah, fair. And I mean, props to you though too, because it's like that content obviously exists for everybody to go watch. But still, with all this content out there, they spend years and years trying to make it work and never end up making it work. Or if they do, they don't really make it work like you have. Like obviously 700K a month is really good. Like you're one of the ones really doing it here. And so the fact that you're able to go from just starting a year ago to picking up that fast shows one that all the information really out there to get you going to at least 100K a month or 150K a month that you were able to get to on your own with just the free knowledge, right?
Hmm.
But it's also props to you, and I want everyone listening to take note of that, is that like you said, you were a sponge. You really soaked it in, and not only did you soak it in, you actually went and actually applied it, right? And then saw results. And like you said, you applied it, you lost money for 3, 4 months. But after 3, 4 months of losing money and applying it, it actually eventually took off. And you were able to get to your first six-figure month.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to mention is that like I see a lot of people that go to 100K, 80K a month, and are just like they don't have the right mindset. They want to scale, but they don't want to invest in their business.
Right.
They don't want to like use more budget on ads. They don't want to buy mentorships from guys like legit guys and scale their business. They want to do things like they never did with they already know. So it's kind
Right.
of possible. And that's
Yeah.
I think I I also know that I differentiated in the sense that I'm not scared to invest my business. That's a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, props to you for noticing that. Like when you say it out loud like this, it sounds like common logic, right? Like you've never done it before, go find someone who's done it. But yeah, people just don't. Or if they do, they just go with the cheap option that thinks they know how to do it when they really don't, right? Which I'm sure you've probably had experience with as well. And so I'm gonna touch on that a bit because that kind of leads me to the second question I wanted to ask, which was, okay, you soaked up all this information, you were sponge, you got to 150K a month on your own with some YouTube videos and free content and things along that nature, right? So now that you were at 100K, 150K a month, what was the problem that you think you had that was preventing you from scaling to the point you're at now? Like, what made you even want to decide, okay, maybe I need a mentor now, maybe I need to go join Dante's program to get to the next level?
Yeah, that's like really easy to answer because at 150K, I had problems with payment processors. Was not the biggest anymore. It used to be, but I solved it. But at this point, I still had a bit of issues. But the main thing is structuring a team, like building a team, and not only a team, but SOPs and processes in all the business, because I couldn't like do anything with consistency because I didn't know how to actually structure it in the best way possible and in a like a predictable way, right? And that's the thing that I also found very valuable in the program because it's an approach to ecom that a lot of guys doesn't have. Even these gurus like I don't know, they with the flashy lifestyle and Lamborghinis and things, they never talk about this. They never talk about how you structure a team, how you actually build processes in your business, and how you make SOPs and hire people. And that's the thing that, bro, I saw it in your video, like that hiring guide you made in your YouTube video. It's so valuable that I like at the time I watched it, I was like, it's not possible that this thing is free because it was exactly what I needed at the time. And of course, there were some things that I didn't know and I would need to ask you. And that was the moment that I was like, "Yo, this guy know what he's doing. He knows what I need to do to go to the next level. So I think it would be a good thing." So it was this thing of processes and team building that I never had a clue how to do,
Right.
and that's a thing that you really don't find in the English space. It's very hard to find, very hard.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, partly it's because now that I'm making these YouTube videos, it's because they don't get views, right? Like that video maybe has maybe 3,000 views, like if that. But like you said, it was like the most valuable thing to you for at the time, which my next question was, why did you end up deciding to join my consulting program out of all the other ones that existed? But you kind of already answered that, right? Which was it's because it's specific to your level and what you need. It's not the flashy
Yeah,
lifestyle, the basic
yeah,
information that everyone else does.
exactly. Because when I saw other programs, they were like some guys that they are basically selling to beginners and like just get your first 1K day, 2K days. And
Right.
I didn't find any program that was like, yo, this is how you structure a proper business. This is how you really get consistent and with consistent results and scaling it like as you should do with any business. So that's a really big thing that I looked at the time and helped me to make the decision.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so then you mentioned a few things there, right? You said it was the team and hiring structure, the actual structure and process for creative testing and creative strategy and some things like this that were
Yeah.
able to help you scale. Outside of those two key points, was there anything else that was you think key to you scaling so fast? Because I mean, you went from 150 to 660K per month very quickly. So just summarize again, like what would be those key things that the program helped you with that got you to that point quickly?
Yeah. It was some things like, as I said before, it ecom has some simple things that a lot of people don't talk about. And you said to me, I watched all your content that it has in the in the program and also in the one-on-one call. You said to me like about shipping, shipping,
Yeah,
charging for shipping. It was a thing that right now I'm charging like eight $8 for shipping, and it didn't hurt conversion rate. So it's amazing for me. And I also have another option, but also upsells. Upsells are a really big one. New markets, and I think the biggest one was new product, new hero product,
right,
because I couldn't find consistency with the other one, and with a new product, I could, but I couldn't scale it further, you know? So with a new product, I could like kind of lower my blended CPA, and at that time I was also making like better ads.
right.
So everything came together and it was really good for me to scaling it to like 600K, almost 700.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And even like even you just saying blended CPA is nothing I would have heard from you 60 days ago, right? Even focusing on blended CPA versus just the ROAS on Facebook or whatever. And so
Yeah,
it's like even just simple things like that, like you could tell your knowledge has changed from just like, hey, Facebook scaling ads to, okay, let's look at this as a business and how to scale it.
yeah. When I joined your program, I remember I saw like a spreadsheet you gave in the resources, and I was like, bro, what he's talking about? What is this? I don't even know what he's talking about. So after starting this program, I really think it was like during this program that I really thought about my business, about my ecom business as a real business. So I'm structuring it, and I know in 25, bro, thing will be even
Yeah,
crazier than the
absolutely.
year before.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially because you're coming at it with the right view and mindset now. Like there's no reason why this will slow down. And one other thing I want to mention there before there's only one or two questions I want to wrap this up is the second hero product, right? Because it's like that's one of the things you learn when you're trying to build a real business here. It's like, okay, one product probably can't take you to 100 mil a year. Like how many products, one single product takes you to 100 mil plus a year? There's very rare cases like athletic greens, things like this where they have one main SKU that really
Yeah.
scales them massively, right? And then when you realize like, okay, there's going to be some cap to a product, it really depends on the TAM and the marketing and all these other things. There's so many things you have to do to continue scaling it like you did. But at some point, it's like, hey, how do we diversify what we're selling to bring in different segments of the market, right? We're not changing all these other things, but the key thing is that will still only work if you have the right systems in place.
Yeah.
If you know to look at your blended CPA versus just your on Facebook ROAS to determine scale. If you have the Crave system and team in place to test that. If you have the back end to launch and test those products first to not lose money on the testing, right? All these different things come together. And like you said, it's not like it's like what I tell you guys to do and what I teach you is rocket science, right? It really is just these simple things. And like once you know it, and then it really works because you really learn the fundamentals of how to actually build a business.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what was your question? Or just you were just
Yeah, I got two more here, and then we'll wrap it up. My next one is more of a personal one on you, just because I'm curious, because obviously in Brazil too, because of the currency, like the 150, and just to clarify for everybody, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but the 660,000 a month is in what currency?
in Brazil currency?
No, on your store. Your store is 660,000. What currency is
Yeah.
that?
Like I think it's like 4 million
Right,
Brazilian.
in Brazilian currency. Because the
Yeah.
660 is USD. It's a US based yeah. Okay, I want to clarify that because people be like, oh, he's from Brazil, 660,000 is
It's
only like 2,000.
it's
Like, no,
crazy. It's crazy.
This is US dollars.
Yeah, it's crazy. And even from people here from Brazil, like people from Brazil, they usually just sell here. So it's amount that people really don't make here after like a lot of years
Yeah.
Ecom. So it
Yeah.
was really crazy to me that it's possible to do this like while I'm from my home. That's like I don't
Right.
know how many miles I am from US, but it's very fair. I promise.
Yeah. 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 That's
And
awesome.
it's really crazy and blow my mind. Like it still blow my mind. There is sometimes that I like just reflect and see, bro, how this is even possible? How people like don't do it because it's really good. It's really good. I love what I do. I love what
Yeah.
I do.
That's awesome. And so because of this, like obviously you went from 150,000 USD a month, which is and profit wise is still already massive money in Brazil. So and even anywhere in the world, right? That's like 10, 20K,
Yeah.
25K, 30K profit a month, even in the US, which is crazy. And so 660,000 a month and being in Brazil, how has that changed for you in your personal life? Like what things have changed for you in your personal life because of this extra income?
Yeah, bro. Like a lot of things, a lot of things. Because now like I pay basically all my bills for my parents.
It's awesome.
Also bought like my car, my first car. That's a BMW. I don't know how to say that in English, but
Yeah,
I know.
BMW, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And I just can like I remember like 23, I was just going to the mall and I couldn't buy anything, bro. And now I can like treat myself. I can wear good clothes, not that designer clothes because I don't think it's a good financial decision, but like really just dress myself well, like buy things that I always wanted. And really the biggest thing, the thing that I'm most grateful for this amount like of sales that I did is really then now I can see what is really possible to do.
Right.
Like because this doesn't I did this amount of money, I can live I can put this as an investment and just live off the money or something in the future. No, that's not what I want. I really like can see the vision and building a econ empire, a business empire, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity that like ecom in general opened to me, and that you really helped me in the process to seeing it. Like that was a really big thing too.
Well, I mean, thank you for that. Those kind words, and I mean, I appreciate it. And I mean, your story alone is just inspiring. Hopefully, everyone watching is inspired too, because it's wild. Things can change fast, and clearly, they changed fast for you.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just amazing to see. And so, my last question for you then is, if you didn't join this program for the consulting, where do you think you would be at currently?
I don't know, bro. Really, because I know I would be like probably crazy if I like I don't know. I think I would be crazy because the only content I found, like really good content, like where you find people to hire, where you should hire them, like from which countries, how much you should pay, how you structure bonuses, how you can like what people you need, what people you don't need yet. So this whole thing like helped me so much because before I was doing everything. And if I was doing everything, one, I wouldn't scale. Two, I would be crazy. So
Yeah, you'd be
this,
going
this is
crazy.
a thing
I've
that
been there. You do go crazy for sure.
yeah, it's terrible. So that's the biggest thing that I saw in your program that I didn't saw in seeing any other one.
Yeah, yeah, it's
That was
amazing.
really good.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it once again for the kind words and once again for you doing this interview. I mean, for you even get to the point to be at six figures a month, right? That's why when I ask this question to everybody, most people are like, well, I probably would have got there eventually, right? It just helps me out get there a lot faster. So if you're able to get to six figures a month and figure it out on your own, you're smart enough to continue doing it. A lot of people say it's more so about just speeding up the process and getting the information to scale faster, right? And even if you mentioned a lot of things that helped out, but even if you only got the hiring thing, that was the only thing you got right from this program. Well, clearly it was still worth, and that was like the missing piece for your brand and what you
Well,
needed to really scale.
yeah, just that alone would like make the value that I pay worth it. Like just that alone. But that's the thing. I think this mentorship is a lot about like speeding up the process as well. I couldn't ever like forex my business without the right guidance. And
Right.
when I say that, I really mean it. That I think your program is the best for anyone like above 100K and below 200.
Yeah.
I really mean it because people at this level, they don't know how to really treat their business as a business, and they don't know how to structure it for predictable scale and consistent growth, right? They don't know. And the best source of this, like I really think it's you. I really mean it.
Well, I appreciate it. And that's also a reason why like we don't work with people doing under a million a year, right? Why we have those in the program structure, we have the tier two, tier three, is because you guys at that rev range when you joined, like they need something else. And now that you're doing 660,000 a month, like you also need something else different than when you first joined. And that's also why I just don't work with beginners in general, not because I couldn't help them. I mean, I honestly don't enjoy it as much, so I apologize if you're watching this and you're under a mil a year. But two, I just very much enjoy helping people who are in Gabriel's positions because for me, when I was at 100K, 200K a month, like that's when I got stuck for a long time. Like I was stuck there for a long time trying to figure it out. Nothing was working until I learned it myself, and then eventually was able to scale past that. And I know it's like a tough roadblock to be because it's like a lot of unlearning the garbage, like you said, you learned on YouTube, and kind of replacing that with, okay, here's what we got to do to build a business and actually make this thing sustainable. So you don't have to go back and test a new product from scratch every single time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you doing this. Thank you again. And hopefully everyone watching learned something. Because your story's inspiring and your growth has been crazy to watch as well. So I'm just glad I could be a part of it. And so thank you again. And I'm excited for 2025 and what it brings you.
Great, bro. It was a pleasure. Like I really loved the program, and like also the community, like the people in the chat also helped me, and I really loved it.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you very much, sir.